The families of the 5 people who died following the insurrection are still seeking answers. Sandra Garza joins me tonight. She was the longtime partner of Officer Brian Sicknick, who suffered 2 strokes and later died a day after responding to the Capitol riot. Sandra, first of all, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much, Chance, for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been just over a year, just a few days over a year since Brian died. And I know there is so much to the grieving process, and it is so personal. Where are you at this point? What is your primary feeling?
Well, unfortunately, most people, when they lose a loved one, a year later, typically the anger would tend to die down. Unfortunately, that's not the case for me. My anger has actually increased because of, Donald Trump not acknowledging the horrors of January 6th, not contacting me, not acknowledging Brian's heroism that day, and also other Republican lawmakers not acknowledging the horrors of that day. So sadly, my grieving process is very different than someone else who would lose a loved one.
Why do you think that they haven't reached out?
It's political. Obviously this is not political for me, and I know the officers who testified, and obviously I've become friends with, a lot of the officers that were there that day, as well as the family members, and it's not political for us. This is not, a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a human being thing. And the fact that they're not acknowledging just the facts of what occurred is just atrocious. It's horrible what the officers that have come forward have experienced from their colleagues. There's no excuse for that. We should be coming together as a team because it's not a political thing. This is about justice. That's what it's about.
It seems like we've heard more about, from those who are something of apologists for what happened on January 6th, about Ashley Babbitt and, how she was doing what she believed in, or was a patriot or whatever, or she was wronged, than we have about people who were in the line of duty that day, who were trying to protect the Capitol and the democracy. How does it feel to see all this passion geared toward these other groups, where someone like Brian was there doing his job and serving his country?
It's infuriating. It's very hurtful, particularly since Donald Trump and, other members of the Republican Party claim to be such advocates for law enforcement. It's infuriating. Clearly, as I've said a million times before, they don't back the blue. It's all talk. And there's nothing real or authentic behind those slogans or statements, because if they did back the blue, they would have contacted me. This is why I continue to speak out. I want to educate as many people as I can, particularly the people that continue to support Donald Trump, to let them know that, hey, I supported him. Brian was a supporter of him. Brian was in law enforcement, and it's all a lie. It's all a lie. He does not care about law enforcement, because I know there's still a lot of law enforcement out there that support him. He does not care about anybody but himself. At the end of the day, it's just himself he cares about.
Former President Donald Trump is still saying this election was rigged. He's still saying, I won this election. A lot of his supporters feel that he won this election, and that really inflames them. And he keeps hinting that he might run again. How do you feel about that?
Terrified. And that's another reason why I continue to speak out. I want to do everything within my power to stop that man from becoming president again. He knows that he did not win legitimately. A lot of Republicans were screaming before this even happened. They couldn't stand for people to all, be given first place trophies if they didn't legitimately win first place. A lot of that theme was running through, oh, everybody gets a trophy, right? Even if they don't legitimately deserve it. And yet he wants a first place trophy, and he didn't legitimately win. So it's disgusting. Everybody likes to win first place, but that's not reality.
Very few Republicans have spoken out against him publicly. Liz Cheney has done that. She's paid a price for doing that. What would you say to Liz Cheney?
I have a lot of respect for Liz Cheney. She has a spine of steel. She's not afraid of Donald Trump. She's not afraid of her colleagues who continue to, suck up to Donald Trump. She has character. She has a moral compass. She cares. She legitimately cares about our Constitution, our democratic process, and the safety of the American people. This is not a dictatorship. Donald Trump wants to be a dictator, and that's not how America is. That's not what we want America to be. And so I have a lot of respect for her, as well as Adam Kinzinger and others who have, spoken up, even if they haven't gone as far as Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. But I particularly have a lot of respect for them because, they certainly have felt a lot of heat. And even, been called or accused of being Democrats for standing up for what's right.
Final question here. 58% of Americans now say our democracy is in danger of collapsing. 58%. That's from Quinnipiac. Some hear that they dismiss it as doomsdayers, you guys are going overboard. But that's a majority of Americans. January 6th was key to that and that perception. I'm sure you've given this a lot of thought.
Yes. I didn't think that prior to January 6th, but Donald Trump changed all of that, and it's terrifying. I am a military veteran. I have deployed to the Middle East, and I've seen how other countries operate, and, I remember, not being able to wait to get home to American soil. And so it's very depressing. It's very sad. But again, this is why I continue to speak out, because I will do everything in my power, and I'm just a private citizen, but I will do everything in my power to ensure that Donald Trump does not become president again. He for some reason has this grip on the Republican Party, so hopefully there's nobody else like him that is thinking of running, because it's a scary, scary thing.
Sandra Garza, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Thank you for telling us more about your views on the world today, but also some of your history. And Brian Sicknick, we so much appreciate you, but also everything he gave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chance. I appreciate it.